Alrighty. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is TGIM. TGIM. We've been out farming. We just got back in here about 10 minutes ago. And let's see who's trying to pester us now. I'm not picking it up, so it doesn't matter. But in the end result is that our plants are looking happy. We're getting lots of, as they said in Mesopotamia, Mesopotamia, I guess it would be, Shemesh, getting lots of sunlight, a lot of, from the big sun instead of little sun at this point. And plants are very, they're perking up, looking great. Moved from the greenhouse, heading into the fields, they're happy. So let's see what's going on here. There is the dollar index. You can see, again, it's kind of firm. It looks like it's firm. Let's see what it does on Chicago Quant, too. Oh, and let's see the chat line. Let's go to the chat line. What do we got? Natural gas up there. No, we want dollar index. Let's see what the dollar index. Right there. Backing off a little bit. Okay, that makes sense because I saw the red over here on J4X. So I was thinking to myself, that doesn't make any sense. And that's what it's doing. It's backing off. There is Paul. Paul Henry Michael Lemon. It sounds like something out of a John Wayne film. I love that. It sounds cowboy to me. Paul Henry Michael Lemon de Velacourt. Well, actually, I don't know. That could be like Zorro type thing. That's cool. Either one. Or the Count of Monte Cristo. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. Speak slowly, Doc, because we are out, not in America. Okay, cool. We will go slow and steady. In my natural tendency, or in my natural thought, of my mind, I always think like a cowboy. That's right, like, yippee-yi-yay, wee-haw, cowboy. I live in cattle and farm country, so everything around here is, nature and, cows and, an exciting Saturday night. And here in this community is when a cow or two gets loose and then they got to try to figure out how to get it back. Let's check out the yen. I'm going to put it up on J4X. I think that's the Turkish lira because I was wondering how the election was affecting it. All right, I just want to see one more thing here. Ooh, backed it off a little bit there, didn't I? Okay, so let's go to the yen. There it is right there. There's the yen against the dollar, moving up again. It's the second day in a daily buy. Let's see why that line is not in there. We'll put it in there like so, just to help everybody out. And so there's the yen. You can see the weekly on our work has been in a weekly buy for a bunch of weeks. A little weakness here, nothing major. It's not breaking anything there on the slow. That's the green line. The fast algorithm has broken down today a little bit, but nothing major there. Let's see. There we are. Let's kill that volume there. And over here on J4X, let's take a look at that on J4X. What do you have? Dollar yen is down. I guess it depends on what side of the pair. Dollar yen is up at the moment. Now I guess yen dollar might be down. The other way around. But you can see here on J4X it's moving up. We can turn off the hinkies. You still see it. It's up. So it's they're up on the dollar yen pairs trade, and they must be down. Then it's obviously down on the yen dollar pairs trade. How's that? Does that make more sense to you? And you can see here the weekly looks fine. A little weak. There is a little weak on the fast. It's starting the week off like that. That's kind of interesting. But overall, it's been pretty firm. We'll have to watch it the next couple of days. I would think that this product is going to go sideways up still. It does have a little of a head and shoulders thing going on, and the shoulder is raising above the left shoulder. But when we really, this product in particular has a natural tendency to do what it wants to do. And since they have a new person running the Bank of Japan, they may be just trying to get settled in and figure out what they're going to do, because he has come out and said that they're going to analyze for the next year how to change the way they've been doing things. So that could be the effect too, Paul. That could be it right there, and that's why it's, now everything at the moment has been on an upwardly drift. In other words, as this is rising, the dollar is gaining against it, and the yen is going down against the dollar. Maybe that's what you mean. As down against the dollar. Yes, exactly. That's what it is. The yen is down against the dollar by it rising up like that. More yen to a dollar. Now, we'll go back to the dollar index, but Paul, if you see anything else you'd like to see, just put it up on the chat line. We'll go after it. We can always stop what we're doing and check out other stuff. We like doing that. That's one of my big favorites. Now we'll finish off the dollar index, and we can see there it is. The hinkies are turning up over on Chicago Quant. There it is right there. Is that there? Yeah, that's the dollar index. It's breaking down a little bit here. We've been in a buy since where's that green line? Been in a buy since right there, and we were kind of surprised the strength of it, and you can see we closed in a weekly buy right here this last week. So there is a little push there to buy dollars. King dollar is being king dollar. What else can we say? I guess it was following the flow of the bonds for a while there, and then they broke away, which was kind of odd. And right now, last I saw, interest rates were rising in the States a little bit now in the 30-year. And from that, we were not seeing, I think that's what it was. Let's take a look at the 30-year bond real quick. There's the 30-year bond. Yes, as this goes down, interest rates are rising. Just like when the dollar yen, when it's rising, the yen is losing against the dollar. And so they are putting some pressure on it this morning. We did go into a weekly sell, which is insinuating that the interest rates want to rise. So you would assume that the dollar would gain in value from it. So we'll keep an eye on that, and see how they play. Let's see. Paul says, "Don't speak." I don't speak the trader's language because I'm new. Okay, that's no problem. So what happens is that we look at different products that get pulled in different directions. In other words, if this is going up, then that might be going down. Things like that. It's that type of thing. We look at stuff like that. So that's the I guess that's the best way to describe it. Trying to think, what else can we say about that? So what we do is we just try to make it simple. We really do. We try to make it simple, and if there's anything I say, just Paul says, "What is your platform?" We use J4X here on the left side. On the right side is Chicago Quant. That's our own. Right now we're using a multi-chart, and we are just finishing off our own software, so we're going to be using our own software, and I'll probably just use multi-chart as my own private product. And we're getting ready to, and it's our own proprietary mathematics. It's stuff, so like these green lines, we call them the gas lines, like an energy type thing. And this is the weekly indicator right here. This is a daily indicator right here, and that is the daily chart right there. See, like Ducascopy. Yeah, right there. This is the Ducascopy J4X platform right there. And these lines here emulate my work. So this is a slow moving stochastic, and that's the K. This is a fast moving stochastic, that's the K. And then the hinky ASCII bars, we can turn them off. Here's regular. Let's see if we can do this again. Like that. there is just regular daily bars, and overlaid on it is a hinky ASCII, which is an averaging of the open, high, low, and close, and doing the physics thing of multiplying it by 2. Does that help out? I hope so. So, now, let me think. Where do we go from there? We go to... From there, I guess we finished off the dollar index. The only opinion we had really was that with interest rates rising, the dollar has been firm. That seems to be the way it's going. Let's see. What kind of trading do you do? Scalping, daily, monthly? Yep, we do all 3 of those. We do all 3 of those. But what we mainly do is the daily and the weekly right here. And we use what they call options or binaries. And so we mainly, for the webinar, we talk about weekly and daily. We show intraday. If you have a hunger to see something intraday, we can show it to you. That's no problem. But what it really comes down to is that we really talk a lot of longer term trend, daily and weekly, and it's reconfirmed every week to confirm the action itself. You know, if it's still in the same weekly trend or not in a weekly trend, like you can see here on let's go back to the yen, since you were interested in the yen, and we'll explain it to you through the yen. So in this case here, we went into a weekly buy right here. The fast went into a weekly buy all the way back in here. When we go into a daily buy, which is right there, then you can be long. When we go into a daily sell, that's what that is, where it breaks the line here. Actually, that's not the sell. Where's the sell? The sell is right there. And that's why it's in the wrong spot. Let's remove that. And what happens is that there's the sell right there. And so it went into the buy here. And what is the green line in the histogram right there is a plus on the daily. And you can see it had upwardly momentum. Even when it went back down, it found a way to try to bounce back up again. And then finally, with a red and green dot, that represents volatility. Also at the same time, because it's underneath, it's not in the sell. It has to be a red or a blank like that one. But when it's a green and a red on the same bar, then see here we get just a red, and we're underneath the line. And that's how that works there. Then over here, matter of fact, there, let's put the sell in here again too. And there's the sell right there. And you can see the next day it breaks down even more, but then starts to bounce, but it's not in a buy yet until right here. Let's put a line in there, and then it goes right back in the sell the next day right there. Now what we do is we coordinate that with the weekly below it. So in other words, when you're in a weekly buy and a daily buy, you can get long. Like right here, there was your long. Let's put that in there too. You know, and that's exactly what's going on there. So when we're at a weekly buy and a daily buy, you can be long. You can see that upwardly strength. When we're in a daily buy and a weekly buy with the fast, which we're still not developing a full set of rules with it yet. The slow is still fighting its way up, but if the fast has gone through the 0 line here, that's that blue dashed one, and the slow is above this manifold right here, this mirror image manifold, then you can try to play the long through derivatives. I hope that makes sense to you. But you don't take the sells, you just take profits off of it or just leave it alone, because we're in a weekly buy. So with it in a weekly buy, each sell, you don't get short, you just kind of let it do its thing. Take your profits possibly from being long, but do not go short, because we're in a weekly buy, because the overall longer weekly trend is greater than the daily, and then it goes right back into the daily buy here. It goes up for a couple and then gets into a sell again, and then now you have this again here where it goes into a buy On Friday, you have new highs or higher highs over here, and now it's backed off a little bit. So you only play the long side. I hope that all makes sense to you. And we would just keep on explaining it to you. And then on J4X, it's, oh, you didn't even see, oh, I'm sorry about that. You didn't see any of that. And so that, there it is, there, like that. Let me do that again. So you get a daily buy here, we're in a weekly buy here, then you can be long. When we get the sells, you don't take the sells, you take profits on the sells if you haven't taken your profit already. But you'd only play the longs while we're in a weekly buy right here like that. And then, then here, right now we are in a daily buy, which means, obviously, as you said earlier, the yen is going down against the dollar as it's rising. And it's in a weekly buy. There we go. Now let's see what Paul has said. Yes, okay. Paul says, do you think that a party had make his journey for 50 pips? Party? Do you think that a parody had made his journey for 50 pips? I'm not sure. In other words, do I think that the yen can go up 50 pips? Well, from the daily buy, we went into a daily buy at 136. What is that? 136.69 on Friday, and the high was today was 136. Wait a minute. Let's try that again. 135.69. Okay, so it went into the buy last week at 135.69, and then it's traded as high as 136.32. So what's that? 31 and 32 is 63. So it went up 63 pips on that buy signal. How's that? Does that make sense? I'm going to have a sip of my tea as you figure out if that made any sense. If it didn't, I'll try to explain it even better. Oh, good, yes. So that's the action we're having in the yen. All right, where are we at now? Let's go back. What I'll do is, unless you have another question, I go back to my rhythm, and then if you like right now, just say, oh, I want to see the euro or gold or whatever. I stop what I'm doing. I'm going to go take a look, because I always like to do that. I'd rather do that than do my rhythm. I only do the rhythm so I have a direction. All right. Let's go to the euro. We'll see what the euro is up to this morning. It's been in a daily sell for a bunch of days, so now that the interest rates are, well, I don't know, they're rising, so it's kind of odd to me. But now you can see here, there's the hinky-ashky bars. They've been moving down. You can see here the yellow is at 17. Is that 17 or 12? I think that's 12. And you can see here the green is at 9, so it's still showing a lot of downwardly pressure. Overall, the product is really up for the day, and we'll take a look at that over here on Chicago Cont without the hinky-ashkies on top of the product. You can see here it's bouncing back up a little bit. We went into our daily sell here. We did close in a weekly sell right there on Friday. Let's fix that and put the line in there for you. So this might be just a basic dead cat bounce. And you can see just a nice little pop after being in a sell for a bunch of days. Now we were waiting because the fast was underneath and the slow was even underneath the manifold. But this was in the minus. If you were trading options, you could have made this trade. Okay, trading the hard delta or the spot or the futures contract, we always say wait for them both to join in on, because that's a higher percentage. And the one thing you don't want to do is get stopped out in a position, because it's a spot or a futures contract, and then what happens is it starts going back into the direction you knew it was going in, and you miss the opportunity because you had a protective stop in it. And when you trade binaries or options, you don't have to have that protective stop situation. Okay, so Paul says, do you think it's dangerous if the weight of a position is over 15% of the capital and the leverage is 100. Yes. Yeah, I would say that's again, you're talking about trading spot. So yeah, I think you're putting pressure on your risk factor there. Now, when you use options and binaries combined together, no, you don't have a problem at all. But when you just go naked long or short with the spot or the futures contract, yeah, it's definitely it's pressure on you. All right, from there we go over to cable, and there's cable, and you can see it's doing the same thing as the euro. It's trying to bounce up. Oh, I'm glad that made sense to you. Good. We'll put it up on J4X. There's GBP. You see it's breaking down. Still, the slow is at 26. The fast is at 12. So there's still pressure on it. It is a little bounce you can see going on with our work, and you can see we're curving a little bit at the moment right there. Just as this is trying to flatline, it's trying to turn. Now, Paul says, do you practice with Dukascopy Bank? You mean make trades through Dukascopy? I'll let you. I'll wait for your answer on that. Take a sip of tea and have a bite of some breakfast. All right. I'll wait for your answer still, but I'm going to move along onto the... Let's see, we usually go to the Swiss from here, so that's where I do. You can see the Swiss is trying to move down a little bit today, but it hit the top end of its Bollinger Bands up top here. That's what we keep up there, Bollinger Bands, for somebody who was watching this a while back. And you can see we're in a daily buy from here, and we went into a weekly buy on Friday. So there's a little pressure on a lot of these products. We kind of think that the dollar overall wants to go down, but that's on a broad yearly situation. We really think that overall that the dollar is going to go. We think the dollar is way overpriced. Being in the par 102 or 103 area, 105. That's way still as much as it went up to almost. I think it was 115. We still think it's still a little overpriced, but it's going to take some work for it to get into the underneath the 1.00. So, and you haven't responded yet on that one, Paul. Do you partake with Dukascopy Bank? Question mark. Not sure what you mean by partake or practice or. We've developed a set of tools for the J4X, and that's what you're seeing there up on the screen. Are you asking me if I execute orders through them? That's, I don't understand the real question there. Okay. So there on the Swiss, you can see it's perked up again. When you really look at the Swiss overall, it's come down very well since the 110.11 area. Is it 110? No, 101 area. So it should be bouncing around down here. That's a pretty good move. 12% move. Sip of tea. Cool. All right. All right. Now from let's put it up on J4X too. Right there. Oh, here we go. Okay. Paul Henry says, because I am for the moment on demo, am I going to go on real account and I am going to go on real. Okay. Well, they seem like a good house. They have good markets. We see markets are tight, and that's what you want. in the most of the majors. Obviously, something like the Swiss, not the Swiss, the Turkish lira is a little tougher because there's no liquidity to any of that at this point. But overall, they seem very fine. Yeah, yeah, and that's why we use them. We use the chart. Their J4X is a good tool, and we've set up these tools to when this is going through. In this case here, you can see like on the Swiss, you can see the yellow is at 71. You can see the green is at 81. So when the green is greater than the yellow, it's usually a buy, and you can see the momentum is on the upside. And and with it a green hinky ashki confirms it even more, and it's usually a good sign to be long. Now the question is how are you going to get long through binaries or options or spot or up to you. All right, and then from there we slide over. We usually look at the yen, so we've already seen the yen. So we might as well go right to the Turkish lira. They had their elections over the weekend, and it looks like they're going to have them again on the 28th of May. So where are we at? In about 2 weeks, they're going to do it again. I'm sure they'll find a way to make it all work. All right, now let's find that. Turkish lira, Turkish lira, Turkish lira. It's right here somewhere. Right there we are. And there's Turkish lira. You can see there was some good swings right there. Let's put it up on J4X. See if they have those same swings over on J4X. Right there. There we are. You see it down to 21.17. This is all-time high territory for the product itself. So, it's been that way for a while now. This product seems to hang out up in the all-time highs. The news media over here made no sense this morning. They were talking about it. First of all, they were saying that the right wing almost took over, and I'm thinking, the right wing? Who's the right wing? And so then someone gets on there, another person gets on there, and another reporter, and says, country was looking forward to repairing, the reinflation and so forth. This particular party that tied the sitting president, made it sound like it was a good thing now. So I guess right wing is good. I mean left wing is good. I don't know. They always put spin on it. They won't tell you the facts. But in the end result is that they didn't get 50% each. Whoever got 50% wins, and nobody got 50%. So, and then they said, the currency itself will be, in problems, and the economy will be problems if the existing president wins. So I'm confused on who he is in a sense. In other words, by the media, not me. I understand who he is. He's been devaluing the currency from 1, now trading at 21 up to 22. So in his head, he wants to keep on devaluing it, thinking that maybe that'll ignite the country's economy. And if you have the laws and the rules and everything set up right, usually that does happen. But if you're at the same time hurting the economy by rules and laws, then it doesn't happen. That's usually the way it plays out. So, all right. So from there we go over to the King Peso. The Mexican peso is what we consider the top brick at this point. When thinking about another product to trade besides the dollar, to go to, we think of the Mexican peso as the top brick country at this point, and the best currency of them all inside the brick. So let's go over to the quasi / competitor to the dollar, and that is the King Peso. Right, where are you? You're right around here. There you are. There's King Peso trading at 1757, still down at like six-year lows or something like that. Let's put it up over here, right there. It's been parked there for like 5 or 4 days now. It's just been sitting in that area. The daily you can see right here. It's been in the sell here. You see it's been in the weekly sell since back here, with both the fast and the slow. And the fast went into a sell back in here. And so, there's been pressure. And now you can see right there, the daily is trying to lift up, but the weeklies are still showing lots of weakness, so not much to worry about. All right, that's the King Peso, or the leading BRIC currency in the world right now. Oh, what do we got here? I got to see something. Is that right? How many parties do you trade on the same time when you're trading? Only one or more? I'm not sure what you mean by parties. Products? Oh, products maybe. It depends. It all depends what the signals are. I've been trading for 45 years, so it's a lot different for me. I have a different experience, and I use options, and so it's a combination of different concepts there. All right. From there, but keep on asking questions. This is good, because we can help you more and more, so you can figure out how you want to trade. All right. So from the Mexican peso, we go over to the Canadian dollar, which usually matches up to the oil, and you can see here it's down to the product is moving down, the Canadian against the dollar. It's been moving up, and oil has been dropping. Maybe oil might be a little bit firmer today, so let's go over to oil. We'll put it up on J4X. So here's Canadian. So we would expect, this has been going up. We're going to look and see at West Texas Intermediate oil, and it should be basically heading down, and that's what it's been doing. It's been heading down. And you can see we're at the 52 point right here, and we're at the 27 point right there. So there's pressure on the product heading down. Let's see, for you, what is money? Let's see, for you, what is the money who has the best volatility? Oh, well, crude oil is one of the big volatility products. Let me think. When it comes to commodities, when it comes to currencies, I guess the euro's okay. GBP is more volatile to me. It definitely does have a little bit more volatility in my head. I'm not really following the volatility on it. If I trade a currency, usually I'll trade the euro. I try to take the other side of the dollar. But we have been watching the GBP AUD, and that's been a very interesting product, and it's been giving some good direction overall. But GBP against the dollar, against GBP against the dollar, the euro against the dollar, the Swiss is against the dollar, Canadian, it's okay. Trying to think what else is there. I'm trying to think. Yen. Yen is definitely a more volatile product than the other two that we just spoke about. That's for sure. And I imagine what you mean by best volatility means very active, right? That's what you mean by best volatility? In other words, high volatility? All right. So now, from there, let's go to. Oh, and let's put the same thing up on Chicago Quant just to get a flavor. So let's take a look at the oil contract. And there's a spot. And you see it's trying to bump up a little bit. We went into a sell here. We've been in the weekly sell, so all the way back here. So this was a fun ride down. And then it went into a buy right here, but we're in a weekly sell, so you don't really want to get long. You just don't want to be short. That's all. Just be neutral and don't give up much or any of this, as much as you can. All right. From there, we go over to the South African Rand and we look at gold. So we're going to put gold up on J4X right there. And you can see there gold is up a little bit today. And let's put the South African Rand up here. Right there. And you can see right there, you know, it's been in a weekly buy for a couple of weeks since here. Went into the daily buy right there on that one right there because we have a red and a green. So we can put a line in there. I think that's it right there. There we are. And so that's the strength of the South African Rand. Now it's down today against the dollar, and that makes sense solely because gold, as you can see on J4X, is moving up right there. And let's show you at the same time. Now what is that? XAU. Yeah, that's right. 12.20. That's it. That's better. And then let's take a look at it over here. There. And you can see right there, gold fell into a sell on Friday, right there on its edge. It was minus, and it's still in the minus right now. It's just more of a little dead cat bounce, but we'll see. You know, at this point, our daily and our weekly are telling us that the pressure is on the downside, which is kind of surprising in these times, of course. But then we've seen where the fundamentals do not follow the natural rhythm of the last 3 or 4 centuries. Fundamentals, especially over the last, since 2008, the fundamentals have changed dramatically. Options had a big effect on products all across the planet, in a good way, as far as I'm concerned. The QE has been a bad thing to a great extent. It should have been unwound a long time ago, back in 2010. But unfortunately, you give politicians a chance to steal money, and they're gonna. All right, or spend it. Take your choice, whatever you want to call it. And then from there, since we're done the currencies, and believe me, we can go back to them if you'd like. We'll go over to silver and see what silver is doing. And there's silver, trading just around the 24 area, just a few cents off of it, or above it. And there's the silver right there. See, we're trying to do a little bounce, but we've been in the daily sell since here. And we went into the weekly sell on a fast there. And then we went into the slow joined in last week. And so it's been a interesting breakdown. We are really surprised that it fell from the 26 to the 24. They just don't seem to be able to hold the metals complex up in value. Talk about there's volatility too. All right, and then from there we'll take a quick look again at gold, and there's the gold, and you can see the same situation going on there. It's like a little dead cat bounce going on at the moment. And then we take a look at copper. There's copper. You can see the copper is trying to lift up. We got a green and a red, but the weekly's still in a sell, so we don't really trust it that much. But there has been some very nice things said about China over the last couple hours, that they're actually willing to discuss economics and things like that, which is, usually China says it's our way or no way, but they're saying now maybe we need to discuss some things, so that's a good thing. All right, and then from there we go to platinum. Platinum kind of tells us what the metals market wants to do, and here we have it below the weekly and almost threatening to go almost confirmed. Once that green line gets through the bottom manifold there, it's the odds are like 98, 99% that it's going to go into a weekly sell. So that's a pretty high percentage. And you can see there the fast has been in a weekly sell now. This is the third week for the fast. That's the excuse me, the little blue dashed line. All right. From the metals complex, if there's no other questions, we'll slide over to the energy complex. And as you can see here, the spot, just kind of hanging out a little bit higher. We'll put Brent up on J4X right there. And trying to think, what else can we say about any of these things? I guess the best thing of all is that, and what do we have? Yeah, we have Brent there. You can see there's pressure on it. You can see the yellow line there is at 52. The green is at 30 out of these two lines. So it's, the pressure is enormously on the downside. You can see the green, the red hinkies for the last couple days. And the same situation here. It goes into a sell there, and it's trying to do a little bounce there, but we're in that weekly sell since back in here in the high 70s. All right, the back month. Let's take a look at that. This is the spot month that's going to expire at the end of this week, and the back month. Where's that at? We'll find it in a second. Is the September contract? 3 months out. And you can see there, same situation, pressing down in a weekly sell. And what else can we say about that? It is making a curve there. That's interesting. And it's trading at 69.93. And the other is trading at 70.50. Excuse me. So they have about a 54-cent premium in the front month. They're trying to take delivery, obviously. And that's what's really going on right now. Is that the markets are really fighting to get inventory up front here, not in the back months. We'll see. For a while, it was the other way around. There was premium in the back. The inflation factor seems to have a lot of influence on it. That's one of them. Also, this is the summer months. Normally, people need fuel more than they do for automobiles, that is, than in the wintertime, because people are doing more traveling, driving further. All right, and then from there, we go over to natural gas right there. And you see natural gas closing a daily buy last week, and now we're playing with that weekly buy. How about that, Robin, huh? Time to look into that again. And then let's put it up over here. There it is right there. And as you can see, $2.35. So $2.35 natural gas per cubic foot. Yeah, really. Yeah, you might want to show that today, and get some at the same time. And then from there, so that's there. Let's take a look at the natural gas in Europe, and that is right here. We look at a energy company out of Spain, and their currency, or their stock price, matches the natural gas price at the moment. I guess that's what their strength is. And it's right there. You can see it's trading at $28.38 with a 32-cent bid. There's a lot of pressure there. And it's trading 13 times more expensive in Europe than it does here in the States for the same cubic foot. Which is a, shake your head, ouch type of situation. And then see those crazy, the tent and all that stuff they had up for yesterday, and the chairs, and oh my God, what a they between the birthday and the Mother's Day, which they do every year. Oh, crazy times, good times for all. I hope you had a good weekend. And then from there, we're going to slide over to, where do we go over here? We go to the stock indices. So let's take a look at the S&P 500. There that is right there. You can see it's a little bit firmer here today. But it's in a buy from here, but it hasn't really done anything but go down more than it seems to want to go up. But it's still up from, it has been up from where it went into the buy at, what was that, 4,154. I think today's high is like 50 something, 56. Yeah, 56 and a quarter. So it did go up there, kiss it, and fall back down. You can see they're flirting with the daily sell as we speak. And you can see the weekly is trying to curve over. Interesting times. We will see what they, our math. See how our math tells us what the markets want to do, because that's what's usually what it does. Is the math picks up on what the market wants to do, and then we try to follow it. All right. From there, we go over and take a look at the other three stock indices here in the States. So we'll go over and look at the Russell 2000. Oh, so let's see. Paul says, do you trade for your own account or for an account other persons? Nope, my own. Or one or two banks. No, I don't trade for institutions anymore. I used to trade for institutions. Over the last 15, 20 years I did. And don't trade for institutions anymore. Just me. All right, and then from there, let's see, where are we going? Oh, yes, so stock indices. So let's take a look at, let's do this. Let's go to the intraday, too. Here's an intraday chart. This is some intraday scalping. And in this case here, you can see it's been in a daily buy since back in here. That's where it went into the buy. We put these little boxes in for buys. The little pink dots for sells. It's playing with the sell right now, but it's been in the buy since the 41.10 area. It's going up over almost 50 points. Excuse me. This is a shorter term intraday, and this is a longer term. And I use them both and use them to trade. So it went into the buy here, and it went into the sell right there. So this is much more short term. It's bleeding a little bit, nothing major. I mean, it's going down. It's right. That's cool. And these are some volume indicators we've been exploring because somebody here came into Dukascopy and said, hey, you should check these things out. And we did, and we just watched them to see if it makes any sense to us. All right. Now, from there, we go to... Where we go to? We go to... let's go over to another stock index, and the Russell 2000. I heard today that the Apple computer stock is greater than the whole Russell 2000, and I heard that it's the same size as the British stock exchange of all the stocks, and I heard that it's two times bigger than the German exchange in Frankfurt. Talk about really a powerful stock. Isn't that amazing? Wow. That's Apple Computer. AAPL. All right. And let's take a look at the Russell. And there's the Russell right there. It is trying to lift up. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. It's been in a sell since here, and it's done the same as the S&P. Sloppy and goofy, and it's been in a weekly sell since right there. Same with the fast and the slow, and it's been okay. It's a winner chicken dinner, but nothing major. We keep on expecting that this is going to be like the current, what do you call it, the canary in the coal mine. What kind of market contract relations is the better for the working trader? The working trader. What? Well, again, binaries and options are the best, and then spot is good. It depends on how much capital you have and how much experience you have, combined together, or your discipline. You can exchange experience for discipline. If you do the work, you have no problem. In other words, if you don't do the work and just throw things on, then you have a lot more of a problem. How's that? That make sense? So. Now, let's, from there, we're going to take a look at the Russell 2000. And that is, it pushed itself into sell on Friday. How about that? Okay. That's hard to believe. I didn't think it did that. Let me just go double check something there. Because last I saw, it wasn't that way. I just want to double check it from the exchange chart. Alright, let's see. NQs. There it is right there. Now is that right? The settlement there is at 13,370, and Friday's settlement was 13,545. So that's wrong. That's not right at all. Alright, so let's fix that. So you can see that before we leave. We're going to be getting out of here in a few minutes. U.S. markets open up. I mean, there's electronic trading right now, but no, that's not what I want. Let's see. Let's try this again. File new. Quote manager. Let's see if we can straighten this out. Let's see. Paul says, perfect. Cool. It is possible to work for a bank or for a hedge fund from home. Yeah, I'd imagine so. It depends on the fund and and who does the work. Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. NQ right there. There we are. Yeah, it's the 21st century, so a lot of that has become relatively normal. I get offered jobs all the time. I mean, all the time. 357. Let's do that. Right there. Or 537. There we go. Oh, wrong place. Oh, blew that one too. Let's try that again. Yeah, I mean, I get emails every day, LinkedIn's every day, offering a job. Let's see, 5. Right there, there it is. That's better. There we are. Now let's see how that looks. Because I think it's in a buy because of that. Oh, no problem at all. We're going to be getting out of here. I got to figure out what a title is for today. Setting. I just want to put this on the screen for everybody just because, like that. There we are. There we go. That's better. So it's still in the buy. Went into the buy right here. It's been much more stronger than they've been talking about, but we'll see how that plays out. So anyhow, thank you for being here today. Thank you, Paul, for the questions. We like that. And you can see it's been in a weekly buy now. 3, 6, 9. This is the 10th week in a buy. So each week reconfirms. When it reconfirms, you can still play the direction that way. That's the way it works. All right. So this is Doc from North America. We'll catch you all tomorrow. Same time, same channel. So happy trails to you until we meet again. Oh, you're welcome. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Take care, Paul. Ta-ta for now. See right there.